At Oxford Brookes, all law students have access to Law Trove, which is a package of law textbooks from Oxford University Press. As a result, many of your module textbooks and other useful books are available online, thanks to the library. If you're reading a book on the Law Trove website and you want to reference it using the OSCOLA style, you may be wondering how to do this. The OSCOLA Handbook tells us if you source a publication online, which is also available in hard copy, cite the hard copy version. There is no need to cite an electronic source for such a publication. What does this mean? Everything on Law Trove is also available as a printed book, so we can apply the rule from the handbook. In essence, we reference Law Trove ebooks exactly the same way as we reference print books. There's a separate video in this playlist called Referencing Books and Journal Articles, which explains in more detail how to create footnotes for books. You can find the link below. In the video you're watching now, we're just going to look at some of the specific aspects of using Law Trove and how to find the information that you need. So here's an example of a Law Trove ebook in a footnote. See, it's exactly the same as a footnote for a print book. We do not need to include a web address in the footnote. Let's look and see where we can find all of this information on Law Trove. If you're reading a book on Law Trove, look down the left-hand side, and there you'll see a little picture of the book's front cover. Under the picture, you will see the name of the author, or the two authors in this case, as well as the title of the book. If the book is on a second or later edition, then it will tell you here too. See how this book is on its 8th edition. So that's 3 bits of information that we need for our footnotes. What else? We can see the year that the book was published at the top of the page. It helpfully tells us the exact month that the book was published, but OSCOLA only needs the year, so we can ignore the month. You'll see there's 2 dates. Since we only need the year, it's 2021 in both examples here, so it doesn't matter which date we look at and use. If a book was published in print at the end of one year and then published online at the start of the next year, which could happen, then you would need to choose which date to use. If that happens, then just use the print date. If we want to quote from a page or paraphrase words on a page, then we need to give that page number at the end of our footnote. This is what OSCOLA calls pinpointing. It helps our readers find what we read. But how do you give page numbers to something that doesn't have pages? Well, can you see at the top of this example, next to where it says 10, frustration, it says P263. This tells us that the chapter starts at page 263. Further down the page, it will then say page 264 in the left-hand margin. Everything between those numbers is therefore on page 263, so we can pinpoint a particular page. Sometimes a page will start with a brand new section or subsection, but sometimes the page break comes in the middle of a sentence. If you look at this example, we can see in the left-hand margin that we're moving on to page 267. And the little arrow in the text tells us where readers of the print book would turn the page. So the first word on page 267 is illegal. So that's almost everything that we need to pop in our footnotes. The only thing that we couldn't find on that page was the name of the publisher. But remember, every single book on Law Trove has the same publisher, Oxford University Press. So, if it's a Law Trove ebook, you know that will always be the case. Sometimes people shorten Oxford University Press to its initial letters, OUP. and that's absolutely fine. Just be consistent. Pick one way of writing their name and stick to it. When it comes to a bibliography, there's a couple of tiny changes to make. There's a separate video which looks at bibliographies, which I recommend you have a look at. You can see here how this same book would look in a bibliography. The two things that have changed from the footnote are, firstly, the way the author's names are written, and we've also lost the pinpointed page number from the end. Because it's a bibliography, we're just listing the sources that we've used. We don't need to specify which pages we've quoted from. You can find the link to that bibliography video below, so do follow that up if you're not very sure what's going on here. Don't forget to check out the other OSCOLA videos in this playlist. I've popped the link below. You can also find out more about OSCOLA and more about Law Trove on the law page of the Oxford Brookes Library website. Again, just see the links below.